All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Season 7, Episode 3 of Crunchtime. We don't have Mr. Reese Britt on today because, unfortunately, he's too big for us now. He came second in a tournament. He said, guys, I cannot be seen with the underlings of Austin Peay, so I'm too big. We're just kidding, obviously. Of course, he has practice. He will not be joining us today, but making her Crunchtime debut and on-air debut is Miss Paige Hearn.
Thank you.
So she will be joining us today. Those of you who don't know, she helps out with role players and Crunchtime. She's awesome behind the board, technical correcting.
Keep talking.
Yeah, she's awesome. And then obviously we got Mr. Dylan Walton to my right.
Yeah.
He's at this point, he is who he is.
I'm vibing.
He is who we thought he is. And so this is episode 3. We'll get right into it, guys. Austin Peay looked really good this past week as they defeated OVC/Big South opponent Lindenwood by a score of 52-10. We are highlighted by Mike DeLello going 15-13 for 349 yards. He did have one interception. I believe he had 5 touchdowns in the game, if I remember correctly, throwing. 3 or 4? No, he had 3 touchdowns. Three touchdowns throwing.
And a ruddy.
And he rushed for one, so he had 4 total. Okay, that's where I got mixed up there. But 349 yards, 4 total touchdowns. He also ran for 43 yards on 5 carries, so over, what is that math? 392 yards total.
Just a hair. Major. I don't do math.
Yeah, I know. We'll just say a hair under 400. I believe.
392 total yards.
Is most of my math right?
Yeah, you're right.
Wow, look at me go.
Come on now.
Javon Jackson, his math for his day. 23 carries, 158 yards, and 2 touchdowns for him. He had himself a day. So that's 2 weeks in a row that Javon Jackson has really just exploded onto the scene. And we're really excited for it. Javon Jackson, the guy who's been here with the program for a minute, and he had himself a day. The receivers
had them.
Dylan, Paige, they had a day.
I mean, Cam Thompson had 2 catches for 90-something yards?
And both of them were touchdowns.
Pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive.
To the Baja.
What did you say last week, Dylan? Throw the ball deep and good stuff happens?
I'm not a head coach. So don't take any advice from me. But I'm just, when you add more things to the layers.
The repertoire.
Yeah, the repertoire, your bag. When you add more stuff to the bag, get heavy. It get hard to hold the bag, contain it.
I mean, I feel like when you play a team like Lindenwood, you got more room to, do stuff.
Trial and error type.
That speed kills, and it did kill Lindenwood as Cam Thomas, 2 catches, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns. Trey Goodman, as I like to call him, Trey Goody, 2 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Trey Shackelford, 3 catches, 78 yards. Kenny Odom, 2 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown. They had 4 receivers over 50 yards receiving.
I mean, their opening play was basically a touchdown.
Yeah.
Just bomb. Just
one
bombs
hand,
over.
One hand on the shoulder, defender, don't score. I got it. It was a grab. I'm not going to lie. It should have been on ESPN. That was a tough grab.
It was a tough grab for sure, and it really kind of set the tone for the offense, especially after having such a tough week at Stephen F. Austin offensively just right out the gate, just bam, just right out the gate. Cam Thomas also had a 40-yard punt return in this game as he continues to contribute offensively and special teams wise. I mean, guys, looking at the highlights of the game, I mean, just offense everywhere, everywhere. One position that we are going to talk about later is C.J. Evans is the one kind of piece on offense we really don't know where he is.
Ghost.
And Amber Alert, hello.
No, for real.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on. We don't know if he's hurt. We don't know if he's maybe stepped away from the team or if there's a
whatever. We don't know.
We don't know what's going on. So maybe someone could give us the inside scoop on that. But anyway, defensively, the Governors had 3 interceptions on Cole Duggar, the Lindenwood quarterback. You mentioned it before the show. We got the names of the guy, Michael Rutland Jr., Benji Johnson, and then a defensive lineman, Javon Young, the former walk-on. I believe that's his first career interception, and I hope he kept that ball.
I hope he did, too.
Because
he had to keep that ball.
Yeah.
Paige, there's nothing you watch college football, you watch NFL.
To be a walk-on and then to get an interception like that to be your first, that's
a D lineman?
As a D lineman, as a big boy. That's huge.
And he tried to take it back, too. He tried to.
He got 18 yards.
Yeah.
He got a little bit.
Yeah. He was tired though, right?
He just got a little.
He was like, I need the oxygen tank.
Yeah,
Bring it over here.
He just got a little too much junk in the trunk to make it all the way. It's so cool though when you see those big guys get involved.
Yeah.
You see an offensive lineman scoring a touchdown. You say a defensive lineman getting a pick. And
It's like they get more excited
Yeah,
when,
'cause they don't
when
get the
they
chance.
score
They don't get the
than a wide
chance.
receiver scores.
yeah, how many times did a defensive lineman legitimately get to like touch the ball outside of like maybe a fumble recovery, and then you get it on the pick of all things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super cool for him. It's like I said, former walk-on defensive lineman. We mentioned it earlier. The Govs responded after a tough week offensively. Stephen F. Austin. They are now 3-2 on the season. We are on a 3-game win streak, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty cool. I mean,
Here we go.
Paige, let's talk about this. Like just the momentum. You start out 0-2.
Yeah.
You get walloped on the road against SIU. You play a tough game against Tennessee, but you still lose. Like, what do you think momentumly this does for the Govs heading into this upcoming matchup with A, the bye week, and then B, they come on the road or they come back home
Yeah.
to play Gardner Webb?
I mean, I think the momentum is fully theirs because, they had the unbelievable game, the 52-10, and then offensively, defensively as well with the 3 interceptions. So the momentum is all theirs. Like, they can do whatever they want, and it'll be pretty impressive.
Yeah, Dylan, what do you think? Because I mean, it almost stinks that we get the bye week this week because
It
want
would
to.
slow them down.
Yeah, I mean
Slow
it's
the momentum
football
down.
is such a rhythm game. Like you
Yeah.
got to catch fire at the right time. I mean, Dylan, you can speak to this. Like, do you think that if anything, maybe the bye hurts them at all, or do you think that this is just, hey, let's get our batteries back, let's get back to mentally a little better?
could-
Like, what are your
It
thoughts?
could go both because 4 out of the first 5 games was on the road. Now you
Mhm.
get the bye. Now you 4-2.
Four.
Yeah, 4 at home and 2 away.
Yeah,
But I was looking at the records of the team's remaining schedule. It looked like a cakewalk. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna just be real.
I don't know about cakewalk.
Because I think we're the top dogs of a bad conference. That's what it's starting to look like. We're the big homies. We're gonna beat
Mhm.
up on a little, but that's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. Now I may be wrong. We might get blown out the water 2 or 3 games, but as of right now, it look like we just the big dogs beating up, and we now catching our stride now.
And then they're playing Gardner Webb at home.
That's
so
what-
it's like,
yeah, I don't.
Yep. I don't know about cakewalk is the word I would use.
Yeah, I want to use cakewalk. I was reaching, no cap.
I think
was
it's a little
reaching.
bit of a reach, but I see what you're saying. You're catching stride. You're going into the bye week. You do have a very winnable game that we'll talk about here in a minute against Gardner Webb. But, I mean, I think week 1, our all psyches when watching them against SIU,
Yeah.
we're just like, all right, what's going on? Like, we're getting not only beat, but we're getting destroyed.
yeah.
And then week 2, it seemed like something just hit. They just flipped a switch, and they're like, okay, you played well against Tennessee. ETSU, they didn't look good at all. Let's just be honest. You lose by 60. That I don't care who you are. That's not a good look.
No, that's not good in football.
Yeah.
No.
It's not good in any sport.
Not good in any sport.
It's not good in any
Actually,
sport.
not good in any sport. Actually, 60 is kind of a big number.
Yeah.
But and then you get the tough win on the road against Stephen F. Austin. You're now 1-0 in the UAC. You're actually you
Which was
mentioning
your best game. That game was your best game, as far as like internal toughness. Like,
yeah, that's a good check.
that was a gut check dub right there. That was a gut check win.
Yep, and you did. Let's be honest. You did get a little help from Stephen F. Austin. You throw a pick 6. You throw a pick the next drive, and then your
You
running
slip
back
and fall.
falls in the end zone for a safety. Which
But
I
you
don't know.
tried though.
But I mean, at the
But
end,
you-
they still won. So
They
what
still
are we
won.
talking about
That's
that?
what
No. I'm not discounting the win.
Yes,
I
he
mean,
is.
trust me. No.
He brought it up
No.
for a
reason. Yeah,
I'm
I
just saying, you do have to account that into effect. But they 100% got the win on the road, and then you go, like you mentioned, 4 out of the first 5 on the road. You finish it up with Lindenwood. Not that you're not going to go on the road the rest of the year, but you got the 4 out of the next 6 at home, which
Will help
Which
them
is,
tremendously.
but hold on, it could contradict itself because then you go at home for 2 weeks, then now you off and on for the next month. You away, home, away, home.
I mean, it's still better than going like back to back.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
When you get to sleep in your own, that again, we mentioned this earlier in the season. They don't sleep in their own bed. They sleep at a hotel. But you get to
It's better than our bed. Them twin XLs don't hit.
no, listen, those beds are really nice, and you don't have to sit on a bus or a plane for
Right.
hours on end, which is huge for your body. Because I mean, that does take a toll. And I don't care. It seems like okay, you're just sitting down, but traveling takes a toll on your body, mentally, physically.
And then time zone be changing too.
Right.
Because they going far.
Well, they do have to go to Utah.
Yeah.
That's like the big road
That's a
trip
couple hours. That's like 3 hours change. So ain't it or something like that? 2 hours.
on a plane. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I believe you have time zone changes.
Yeah.
So I want to say they're mountain time. Or are they
Yeah.
East Coast?
Utah might be.
I want to say they're
I
Mountain
have
Time.
no idea.
I don't
I'll
know
say
either.
Mountain Time.
That's
I'm like 90% confident in that.
Yeah, I don't know. If again, I'm not the guy to ask.
Oh yeah, they mountain. So it's 2:12 over there. So they're
Look at us
hour-
go, Paige. Look at us
Yeah,
go.
They're
right.
hour
This is what we
Oh.
do.
Absolutely. So we saw some things on their social media. I'll mention this as well. We saw them. They did a dunk contest as kind of like a send off, for the guys so they can go home. Because I imagine they would be going home either today. They're probably getting off. They're probably done with today, and then they're probably going home for the weekend. Get to see their families. Get to watch some ball on the couch, which is good.
That's nice.
Get to relax.
Get to relax. Get to see the families. Some of those
Unwind.
guys probably haven't seen their families in a couple months, and then get their batteries back, and then they got to come back home against Gardner Webb. Any last thoughts before we move on? I know Lindenwood, we kind of brushed by him, but granted, so did our receivers. So
You
That was a
should brush
good-
by him when it's
that was-
52.
that was good. I came up with that one on the
was a
spot.
good
I was like,
one. That was
I
tough.
was like, man, I could sound really funny right now.
Nah, that was a good one.
But any thoughts, guys? Let's talk about this briefly. C.J. Evans, what's going on with him? Is he hurt? Again, it's tough because we don't have a beat
It's
reporter.
kind of suspicious that they're not saying anything.
It is
Yeah.
kind of suspicious.
After he had a really good 2 games,
Yeah, he had a really good game against ETSU.
ETSU, and then-
Busted one right up the seam
Yeah.
first play of the game.
and then Knox was before that. He played decent in Knox. I mean, granted, he can only do so much.
Right.
But he did play decent.
And I don't remember seeing him gimpy at all at the ETSU game.
Yeah.
Again, I maybe didn't get to see it because we were kind of doing our thing, producing the
Yeah.
game.
But
But
then it also might be something going on personal. So
it could be too. It could
But
be.
they would have said something personal, though. I believe so.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's something personal. I think they might.
It's tough because we're like one of the few Division I teams in all of America that does not have like their own dedicated beat writer.
Dang,
So
for real?
yeah, that's like I think Barry Gresham told me about that.
Sad.
Yeah,
I do that. What's
it is what it is. It's tough.
shameless plug? I'd be the beat writer.
I hope it's nothing serious. I hope it's
Yeah.
not a personal thing, like maybe something happened to his family or he's got an issue with the team. I also don't want it to be an injury, but if it's not one of the other two things, it's
What's up?
more
Yeah.
than likely an injury that they're saying, hey, we're just going to keep him out. But again, hopefully we'll see.
Keep an eye on
Hopefully
that.
we'll keep an eye on that going forward. For everyone else watching the show, for you to keep an eye on, follow us on social media, APSU Twitter or X, Instagram. Follow us on Podbean so you can catch all of our episodes and whatnot. So yeah, that's something else you can kind of keep your eyes on. I tried to get a smooth transition. I tried.
Nah, we coming to TikTok too. We coming live.
We're coming on TikTok too. Isabella Christensen's gonna head that up, and we're gonna get that thing rolling.
Get us
Even
live
though
on the TikTok.
TikTok's technically banned on college campuses.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi?
It's
MAC
banned on the
address.
Wi-Fi.
MAC address only, not for use, not for entertainment, just for MAC address. Bugs and firewall, all that type stuff.
I don't know. Again, that's over my head, and I'll just move on. All right. Let's move on to the Gardner Webb game. Like I said, they have a bye week this week, so they will not have an opponent. They'll be 1-0 this week, no matter what, against the bye week. So that's kind of a plus. But they do play Gardner Webb not this Saturday, but next Saturday. What day?
14th.
October 14th. Thank you for that. 3 o'clock kickoff. So we'll be dark by the time that game finishes.
Yeah.
So that
Which
kind of
is good. It's not 10 o'clock.
It's not 10 o'clock like we were last time.
It'd be like
Uh,
7, 8.
Yep. Shout out to Paige. She technical directed the board side, the
Thank
stadium
you.
side, and then
Thank you.
Dylan Walton on camera 5,
Nice work.
getting all the. And then I was just kind of there. I was like, yeah, how can I
I
help?
mean, you did good with the graphics.
Yeah, kind of. Anyway,
I didn't even see
You
Uh,
gotta give yourself credit.
Oh,
man.
God, bro.
yeah, I don't
He
know.
doesn't
I don't
give
like.
himself credit
He
at
I
don't.
all.
don't.
He
I
don't.
hate because anytime I do, it's just I immediately mess up.
It'd be like that, though.
Yeah,
But
you're
we
like-
supposed to mess up. That's how we achieve excellence.
All right,
Come on now.
I got you.
It's here.
So Gardner Webb, they're currently not achieving excellence as they're currently 1-3 on the season. They do have a game this week. Let me pull up their schedule. I
They
have
play
it right
Robert
here.
Morris.
Robert Morris, that's right. I have that on the
I have
rundown.
no
Who is
idea where
Robert
that is.
Morris?
I don't know.
Sorry, Mr. Robert.
Yeah, I don't even know how good they are. Let me look at their record, Robert Morris. But anyway, so like I said, they have a game this week, so we'll see what they do this week. Robert Morris is currently 2-3 on the year, so it's not exactly like they're lighting it up either. Their sole win this year for Gardner Webb, 34-27 over Elon. Their losses include App State, Tennessee State, and East Carolina. So at least if you're
East
Gardner-
Carolina.
okay, but they're FBS. That's the thing is, like, you can at least look at Gardner-Webb and be like, okay, 2 of their 3 losses are coming against FBS teams, which it is what it is. You know, they are G5 schools. They're not exactly like Alabama or Tennessee, but at least you could say they have lost to FBS teams. And then their other losses, Tennessee State, as Draylon Ellis, the former Govs quarterback, is doing his thing down there with Eddie George. We wish him all the best of luck.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's something that we talked about before air as well. The Big South and the OVC, they are merged as a conference. We didn't know that last week. It's kind of bad journalism.
It's very confusing.
Yeah, I know. Bad journalism on our part, but also it's like every time you blink, someone has changed conferences. So, but it's now the Big South and OVC as Tennessee Tech, EIU, and Lindenwood. Who else? Tennessee State, I believe, is still in the OVC, and then it's all the other Big South schools that we really don't care about, including Gardner-Webb. But we kind of have to this week because we play them. But yeah, big game for the Govs as they currently sit 3rd right now in the UAC standings. We kind of mentioned that earlier. You said they're the big dogs on top of the conference. Actually, Central Arkansas and Tarleton State would disagree with you, as
My bad.
as Central Arkansas is currently number 1. They are 3-2, but the reason they are on top is because they have 2 UAC wins.
Oh, conference wins.
They are 2-0 in the conference. Tarleton State is at 4-1. They have 1 conference win, and then
But it also just depends on who they play.
So we have 1 conference win as well.
We have 1 conference win. Tarleton State has 1 conference win, but
and the other one got 2.
So that's why it's not
So
based
just
on
a conference win away. Well, then they'll do points and all that. They'll get technical with that.
I don't know because the smaller conferences are weird. In 2019, when we won the OVC, we technically had to share it with SEMO, even though
I
For
remember
real?
that happened.
yeah, because even though we beat them head on head, I think they had the same record as us.
Nah, if you beat them head on head, you get it head to head.
You would think, but the OVC was like, nah, you got to share it.
That's lame. I would have gave
It
it
was
to 'em.
lame.
Yeah, I remember that. I was like, dang.
Yeah. To be fair though, we also shared the ASUN championship last year.
We
Because
like to share a lot of things around
We
here.
do.
Where's the ownership around
we do.
here?
But that one was weird too because Jacksonville State technically should have won it, but they were ineligible because they were transitioning to FBS because they had like 10 wins. So it's like the whole conference realignment is just like,
They need to get it together, bro. What is y'all doing?
yeah, the NC2A's got a lot of stuff on their plate,
They're all over the place. All over the map.
all over the map.
Technically, like for real.
Don't know who's in whose conference. You got the Pac-2, you got the SEC's growing, you got other teams trying
Big
to join.
10, Big 12.
Just all over the place. But yeah, going back and you get this win, you go to 4-2, you at least get a better overall record. And then after Gardner-Webb, there is no more non-cons. It is straight UAC the rest of the way.
And we need
They need
all
to
of
win
them.
those.
You
All
need
of
to
them.
you need to win those because looking forward, I mean, in terms of playoffs, the UAC's I think kind of in the same light or same boat as like the OVC was. I mean, because Paige, you can talk about this as well as Dylan. I mean, going back to 2019, we only had 2 teams get in.
Yeah.
It was us and SEMO, and it's because we shared. It's because we shared the conference championship. So a conference like the UAC, you maybe get 1. You'll get 1, maybe 2, and an at-large bid. But I mean, you really need to win the whole stinking thing.
No,
Yeah,
for
because
real.
like one game could just move you all the way down.
Especially a game like Gardner-Webb. I mean, if you find a way to lose to this team, then you go 3-3. It doesn't hurt you conference wise. Oh, that's a tongue twister. But if you lose this game, it's tough. So it's so cliche to say, but from here on, they're all must wins.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
If you have aspirations of going to the playoffs.
I just don't like how we don't play the big dogs. We don't play Charleston and Central Arkansas, but we play it. We all have similar opponents, but we don't play the 2 big dogs. How you?
Well, I mean, it's
That's part of the schedule. We not
scheduling. I mean, not every team in the
Continue,
SEC
yo.
plays each other.
continue. Yeah, but
Not
Everybody
every.
can't get their way.
you got to have the marquee matchups in the conference. That's
mean-
what you at least one.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but again, it's kind of like not
That's
everyone.
marketing right there.
That is marketing. I mean, that's what a lot of people are pushing for.
Love our
Just
pay rate.
that's what a lot of people
I
are
don't pay
pushing for. Is saying just take the non-conference out of it. Just play solely conference games.
No, you got to have some. You got to have a. I don't know, bro.
Some people are pushing for that. Some
Yeah.
people are, especially like SEC, because like you see in Alabama play in Austin Peay, and people are like, okay, no one really wants to watch that game. But it's good for both programs.
Yeah.
Alabama gets basically a preseason game to warm up, and then also Peay gets financial
Yeah,
support
to get money in return.
that they desperately need.
Things you do for a check.
I mean, they do play at Central Arkansas the last game of the season at home.
Oh, that's Tarleton.
Yeah, so they don't play Tarleton, which I
Oh.
know Scotty's probably upset because they don't get to go back to Texas.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like it's like I
That'll
said,
be a good game.
it will be a good game. I think they'll all be good games from here on out. I mean, it's
Really? The Gardner-Webb game? You think that'd be a good game?
again, I don't want to say it's a trap game. I don't want to throw that bad juju out there, but it's kind of got that feeling.
Coming off the bye,
You got 3 wins.
comfy.
But I mean,
You're
they're
coming off the
not that
bye.
Huge offensive though. So
No, Gardner Webb is not exactly what you call an offensive juggernaut.
I'm not talking about Gardner-Webb. I'm talking about us.
well,
We not an offensive juggernaut.
I'm talking about from the
well,
game that
Oh.
they
two
just
out
played.
of the last 3 games. Boy, we look like one.
Bro.
That they
2
just
out
played.
of-
I'm talking about that game. Y'all talking about the pass. I'm not talking about the pass.
That's all we have to talk about right now. We
No,
can't look
but
for.
y'all talking about the pass. I'm talking about the game they just played, 52-10. I'm talking about that game, having the bye, rest a little bit, and then turn up.
Yeah, I
Oh.
understand what you're saying, but to be fair, also Lindenwood was a Division II team a couple years ago. Like
Ain't got nothing to do with
they've
the
been
game.
FBS for like literally a year and a half. Like it's one of those teams that we talked about last week on the episode. They should have won, and they should have won handily, and they did. But like you have to move on, and this is a team that I don't know if you're going to win handily, but you should win the game.
I just want a game where we fight. Like both teams are fighting, not physically, but this is football. This where we get down and dirty with. I want to see a good football game, and we ain't producing good football games because we either getting blown out or we blowing them out.
I mean, Stephen F.
So
Austin was a
you
good
want a
game.
game where?
Oh,
it
yeah, that
comes-
was a good game. Yes, that was
Yeah. So you want a game where it comes down to like,
A field goal.
yeah,
or
Or if this is
a
like-
great defense.
or if you get the first down.
No
You want a
accidents.
game like
You know what I'm
that.
saying? No accidents, no dumb decisions.
You want to see a Maddox Trujillo like 50-yard walk-off to win the game is what I'm hearing.
I mean, if DeLillo go keep throwing bombs, I wouldn't mind a deep fourth quarter bomb to win the game at home. Let me tell you something. Whoever catch that on any of them cameras, we going to ESPN. We going to Bristol, Connecticut.
it might be your camera.
Hey, look, I'm a team player, so whoever camera it
Yeah.
is, we all run.
The
it
problem is like Dylan's gonna be shaking because he's gonna be like jumping up
yeah,
and
I'm
down.
be going crazy.
But yeah, so it should be a good game. I think it's gonna be a good game. I think, like you said, Dylan, it may be a little bit closer. It may be kind of
Yeah.
more of a gut check game. And again, it's like you said, Paige. They're coming off a bye week, 3-game win streak. There
I
we go.
think it'll be a blowout.
You think somebody blow up?
Yeah.
As a fan, I'd love for it to be a blowout for the Govs. Like
Score
saying,
predictions?
I'm saying 28-14.
28.
Oof, low.
Yeah, that's low.
I think. I mean, defensively, Gardner-Webb hasn't exactly been great. I mean, they've given up 45 to App State, 34 to Elon, or excuse me, 27 to Elon, and then 27 to
And
Tennessee
44
State,
straight to
East Carolina. So it's not exactly like they're great defensive team, but you get a couple turnovers. You never know.
yeah, Paige.
And-
I say 35-7.
Okay.
I can get with that.
What do you think, Dylan?
I was thinking like a 42-10 type of thing.
Oh, wow. I hope this doesn't
We're
look
keeping
like.
it real.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't look like I'm not high on the Govs because I am high on the Govs. But I think this is going to be a little bit more tougher than you think.
That's
but-
why I gave him 10.
Well, I gave them 14.
I'm
I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to score
Yeah.
50. Now,
Yeah.
granted, if they keep going bombs over Baghdad, they might score 50.
Yeah.
Who knows? All right, let's get into the other sports before we bounce. We got about 6 minutes and change left in this thing. I wish he was here so he can enjoy us
Reese.
complimenting
Raise
him.
money.
I wish he was here, but granted, he was like, "Hey guys, I gotta go to practice." But Reese did finish sixth. Jesus, good grief. He finished second. I'm sorry, I got a text from Trey Whitehouse saying we got 6 minutes left, and I had 6 on my mind. But he finished second. He didn't finish first. He finished second. In the whole stinking tournament. See, I had it so excited. I was like, he finished second in the whole stinking tournament, and he's not even here to.
I was supposed to go, but I didn't know what to wear to a country club. I didn't know if I could wear like
You know.
college gear or khakis. Did I need like
Khakis.
loafers,
Yeah, like
a
khakis.
polo? I didn't know.
Khakis
You
and a
had the
t-shirt.
Yeah, I had, but I was nervous. This was my first. I need somebody to go with me.
Oh man, you're so. We need to go golfing. I think you'd be a hoot golfing.
I didn't say me play.
You'd be hilarious.
Yeah, playing.
Yeah,
playing.
it'd be so much fun. But
We should.
to give Reese credit, he finished second in the Austin Peay Invitational. The men, I believe, finished second as well. What was their?
I think he said that.
So shout out to them. They traveled to Cincinnati, Ohio next to play in the Xavier Invitational, and then the Lady Govs in golf. Boy, are they just. You want to talk about some juggernauts in women's golf. Harry, you ain't gonna find.
They get into it.
You ain't gonna find any better than the Lady Govs. They
I mean,
won.
That's why they say behind every great man is a greater woman.
Come on, Paige.
You know.
Come on, Paige.
Well, right now I think the saying, at least for the golf team, is behind every woman there's a good golf player. Is a man that's a good golf player. I think right now you'd have to reverse that, be like behind every great woman's player is a good men's golf player.
Is an average.
Fact.
We're not gonna go average. Well, maybe average.
Well, not Reese. Reese
No.
is not average. No.
Goated.
I wouldn't say goated.
The
You have
big
to be.
bro.
You have to win to be goated.
Big bros goated.
But anyway, women's golf. They recently won the APSU Invitational. So shout out to them. That's 3 straight now for women's golf, tournament wise. They finished second earlier, or no, they won the SIU Invitational. It wasn't. It was the SIU Invitational they won. I got it mixed up. But that's 3 straight for women's golf. Shout out to women's soccer as they got a win on Senior Day as the Lady Govs won over North Alabama 1-0. They next go to Fort Myers to play Florida Gulf Coast. There it is. I had women's golf down there. It says it's a Saluki Invitational. They will travel to Jonesboro, Arkansas to play in the Red Wolves Classic women's golf. Again, that's 3 tournaments in a row that they won.
Fire, bro.
What's up?
They on fire.
They are on fire.
3 tourneys.
I don't know what the golf terms are in terms of like what's good.
All the golfing I know is putt-putt, so.
I don't know
that's
like
it.
I don't know like what I could be and be like, oh man, they're getting like birdies left and right. I don't know if that's good or not.
So he was teaching me. Me and Reese had conversation. I had to learn golf. I'm a nerd.
Mm-hmm.
He was teaching me like every hole has a certain par.
Right.
So-
and you have to
Yeah.
hit the amount of balls to hit par.
Par, yeah, right. So he was like, if you go over one, that's a bogey.
I think
Bogey.
it's, bogey.
Yeah, then if you go 2 over, it's a doogie, dope. I don't know. I don't know the correct lingo.
A doogie. That's something
I've never heard of
completely
that
different.
Yeah, I don't know. But, bro, the golf is really interesting. I've been watching golf. The Ryder Cup, is that the name of it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I've been watching that, bro. That
I actually watched the Barstool Ryder Cup the past 2
What's that?
weeks. It's like a play on the Ryder Cup, like it's a European tournament, but they made it into like a Barstool thing where they basically competed against all the Barstool
Oh, yeah.
personalities, and it was fun to watch because you got Dave Portnoy and
I would say like the only one I know is the FedEx one, and that's only because that's in Memphis.
Memphis.
You don't know
oh,
the
yeah,
Masters?
I know that one. I know that.
you don't know the
Yeah, you don't watch the
Masters?
Masters?
Yeah. Even I'll watch the Masters, and I don't
tap
know.
in.
I don't care about
And
golf.
the PGA.
I mean, I don't keep up with it on Twitter, but the FedEx Cup is in Memphis, so I'll
Yeah.
go to it.
Down the street from my house.
I'll tell you what, the women's golf team keeps playing like they're doing. We'll turn this into a golf show real quick.
Come on now. I'm quick to go to a game.
I know it's football season, and I'm a big football guy, and Austin Peay football is doing its thing with winning 3 straight. But if the women's golf team keeps
3
doing what they're doing,
tourneys.
they got 3 tournaments.
Yeah.
They keep doing what they're doing. We're just gonna turn this to a women's golf
Nah,
show.
for real. I'm gonna see when the next game.
They will go to the Red Wolves Classic.
Well, let me rephrase it. At
in-
home.
Oh, I don't know if they have
You're not
one
going
for
to
a while
Arkansas,
at
dude?
home.
Nah.
Yeah, you want to go to Arkansas?
Not my car. My car doesn't. My car, she don't want
The
to go.
the gas does not want to go. And to
Yeah.
be honest, I don't know if I would really want to go to the state of
Yeah.
Arkansas. That's
Or
just,
oil changes and batteries.
Yeah,
And all the
yeah.
lug nuts and stuff.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's a little different. All right, so guys, we got about a minute on the show. We're gonna give a shout out to all of our support staff and support help. Paige Hearn for first of all for what she does, Mr. Dylan Walton for what he does, Trey Whiteout for technical directing this show, Isabella Christensen for helping out. She will be doing the role players here in a minute. Steve Sawyer, Doc V for letting us use this beautiful studio. He doesn't have to, but he does. David Ellison for helps us for what he does, helps us out every week. We will see you next week. Hopefully, Reese Britt will be back. If he's not, we may have to kick him off the show.
No.
Just kidding, of course. But yeah, guys, we'll catch you in next week. And this has been Crunch Time. We'll see you next week.